Hello, so I'm Dr. Ben Coyle and I want to talk to you about 1200 kilodalton hyaluronic acid and why we use that in Sunekos and why it's so important that you don't miss that as part of your protocol. I think there's a lot of confusion about this. I've been racking my brains about how to try to explain this to you, and funnily enough, to record this video, I'm actually in a really noisy conference centre and we've had to walk a long way to find a quiet room. And this is the first time you've been able to hear me when I've tried recording this. And in a way, that's quite similar to 1200. So what I want you to imagine is a really noisy room with a lecturer at the front and you're trying to listen to what they're saying and everybody around you is talking and the door's open and people are coming in and rustling bags and popcorn packets. You can't hear what they're saying. You can't concentrate. And in many ways, that's what 1200 does for you. It's a calming signal. It's a signaling molecule that tells your skin everything is calm. It's okay. We're going to take care of the inflammation. We're going to take care of the damage that's in there. Calm things down, quieten down the room so that you can pay attention to the lecturer. In this case, the lecturer is the performer that you follow up the 1200 with. It's the performer that's going to do the stimulation. It's going to impart the knowledge, as it were, of how the skin can change and upregulate the expression of the genes that you're looking for the proteins in the skin. But without the 1200 there to calm the room down, you're never going to hear the performer doing its job. It's never going to be heard. It's never going to get its message across. So the 1200, it's critical that you don't miss the 1200 from a protocol, especially if there's active inflammation going on. So particularly in sun exposed areas, that's why we use 1200 every time on the hands, because it's really badly sun damaged. But also, if somebody's out in the sun, sunbathing, or even just, somebody smokes, or somebody's older, and the environmental inflammatory triggers are there, 1200 is going to suppress those triggers. It's going to down-regulate or calm down the upregulation of nuclear factor killer beta, for instance, of TNF-alpha, of interleukin-1 beta, all the inflammatory markers that are stimulated by ongoing inflammation are going to be suppressed when you put 1200 in there. So if you're not doing that, Performa's never going to have a chance to work. So the ideal protocol is you start exactly as the company have identified. There's a reason they've done that. There's 20 years of study and perfection and changing routines to make it better. They know what they're doing. So, with the greatest of respect to us as doctors, if we come along suddenly and think we know better and change a protocol, it's not going to work. There's a reason for doing it. 1200 first, followed by Performa, and then Performa. If it's really bad sun damage or really bad oxidation, have a 1200 and Performa the next session. But it's critical you get the 1200 in there and follow the protocols as they're given. The last thing I would say is I want to leave you with the analogy of a key and a lock. So there are products out there that use both weights of hyaluronic acid in the same formulation, 200 and 1200. And the reason we don't do that with Sunekos is because if you imagine a lock, only one key fits the lock at any one time. You're giving different signals to the CD44 receptor, which is the lock, and your key is the hyaluronic acid. So if you're trying to put both keys in that CD44 receptor lock, it's not going to work. And if you flood an area with both, it's chance which one you're either suppressing inflammation or you're stimulating that cell. You can't do both. It's a different signal. It's noise in the room at the same time as the lecturer is talking. It's one at a time on the receptor. That's why you have to use both. That's why we separate them with Sunekos. Different depths, different areas, and I hope that helps to explain it better.